What's up, guys? You ever stay in a hotel room that had bunk beds?
No, why?
Well, Patrick does, apparently.
Who slept in the other one?
I like it. You guys are spunky today. You guys get sleep last night or something, right?
Not at all.
Okay. Yeah, that's good. I like it. I like it. That's it. So really, just we watched the film last night on the plane ride home, and then came on in here, and now we're rolling on the Vikings. So it's up to you guys on what questions you have.
Khalil got to the quarterback 3 times last night, and every time he got to the quarterback, the ball was out.
Yeah.
When you see that, what is it about him that allows that to be such a consistent part of
He attacks that football, and I've always tell the guys that when Khalil sacks the quarterback, he sacks the football, and he just he's very instinctual as a pass rusher, knowing kind of the arm angles of a quarterback and where the ball's at, or at least where the arm angle is going to go to. So when you're violent, you're strong, you're aggressive like he is, you get those, and he was just dominant last night.
Matt, within the touchdown to check down mentality.
Yeah.
How did he do last night, extending plays or keeping them alive or staying with the touchdown part before going to the check down, within reason?
He was good. He we had a couple opportunities there where they kind of played soft and off, looking for that. And then he was able to bring his eyes back down to the intermediate level and make a couple throws over the middle of the field. So I thought that part was good. And we changed the pace yesterday a little bit with how we were going about that. We talked about over communicating clarity, and they did that. That part was good. But for the most part, there, you saw it on the touchdown pass to Taylor Gabriel. There's not many plays that quarterbacks make like that throw and that push in the pocket and that arm angle. That was a hell of a play.
I wanted to ask you about a throw on the first drive. It was a play action pass that he ended up checking down to David, and Allen kind of came open on an over.
Yeah.
But you had some pressure through the right side.
Sure.
Is there anything he can do to keep that alive? Because he's obviously looking at Allen and he wants him. Is there anything that you say, hey, do this to make sure you hit that chunk instead of just the check down?
Well, we it's all part of the progression, and they played a coverage error taken away. Really, one of the thoughts that we had, which was with TG on that one, and so then the next part is being able to have vision to see Allen as he's going across there. Their corner did not fall back on the through route, which he was running. And so when you watch it, you see that there's definitely a possibility. But those happen a lot. They probably happen more frequently than you probably think. So when you look at it, yeah, you'd love to be able to have that. But again, from his view down there with everybody around you, it's not always easy to see.
What can you realistically expect of him in a play like that? Do you look at it and go, hey,
well,
getting out of there and just getting the first down?
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing that happens. The good part of that is that if you don't see it or you don't feel like you have it, to make a quick decision, not hold on to it and get rid of the ball.
Do you have a clearer grasp of Hicks' injury at all?
A clear grasp of it?
Clearer grasp than you did last
No,
night?
about the same as yesterday. I think it's still, I really believe it's just more of just a wear and tear type thing. He just got a little bit sore yesterday in the game, and so I think he'll be okay. At least we'll feel it out here in the next couple of days, but nothing.
Rule out it's nothing serious?
I don't think it's anything serious.
Pinheiro more sore today than
What's that?
Pinheiro. Have you talked to Pinheiro at all?
I haven't. No, I haven't talked to one player. I've been in there watching tape.
Eddie mentioned.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
Eddie mentioned that he was kicking through some pain last night. How are you going to manage that this week?
Just keep kicking through pain. He did pretty good. Toughen up. He's good. He's fine.
That's not an injury that could get worse by him kicking, right?
I think the part that I liked was the fact that I think we prevented it getting worse is kickoffs. I think that's where you get that violent action of coming through and you're doing those, and so for him to have that's where you can kind of prevent that a little bit.
Matt, you mentioned Mitch climbing the pocket on the 36-yard.
Yeah.
What did you like about the little shuffle step he took and then just kind of angling his way out of there and then making the throw?
Well, yeah, the footwork, Coach Ragone works with those guys every day. I mean, he's awesome with that. So those guys, I have a lot of faith in their feet. The next part then is having the clock and the anticipation to know where your guys are at. And TG ran a little double move, and then to throw an off-balance throw with that accuracy downfield like that was was one of those plays we've been looking for. You know, it was nice to get that, and then to finally, it was close. It was a bang bang. Obviously, they called it incomplete, but those are the type of plays right there that really get you going. That's one of those plays. If there's 10 plays in the NFL during the week, this past weekend, if there's 10 plays that you put on there that by a quarterback, that's 100% one of those top 10 plays by a quarterback.
Mitch said that things were simplified a little bit with regard to formations, personnel, and that seemed to work for him. I'm curious, was that just specific to the opponent, or is that a tack you think that might just be the best way for this offense and Mitch to proceed?
Probably a little bit of both, Mark. I think that for us, it goes back to that we're trying to find exactly what our identity is. How do we help these guys out on offense? How do we help ourselves out as coaches? So we did simplify a little bit, and you almost have to do that when you're playing a little bit faster. You have to be able to do that. So, you know, I felt like, again, I told the guys last night after the game, offensively, there's steady incremental improvement. So we're slowly getting better. Are we where we want to be? No. There's situational. There's some plays in that game where you look back at and you say, dang, you know, just if we would have. But then there's also some great plays and drives in there where you're really happy with the way that the offense, you know, performed.
With that steady,
Without giving away the playbook, can you clarify what some of the simplifications are in terms of the formations and the personnel that?
That would be hard to do just because I think it's gamesmanship, so it gives away a little bit of what we're doing. But just for these guys, however we can get them to play fast. If that means tempo, great. If it doesn't mean tempo, and if there's another way to do that, whether it's less formations, less personnels, that sort of thing. And then if you have an injury or something, then it might throw you off a little bit with certain personnels. But for the most part, I think it's just kind of scaling back in everything.
With some of that tempo, how productive has it been for you to talk to Mitch as he's overlooking everything, as the defense is kind of showing itself?
Right, yeah,
How much are you taking advantage of that?
It helps, and for different reasons. You know, there's a calming presence to it. You know, being able to, you know, you have to go on the ball to have that so that you have time, and you don't lose that time on the play clock. But you know, doing that yesterday was good. And again, who knows if that's something that we end up continuing to do, or if we decide that, you know, it was a week by week type thing. Well, you know, it's just kind of how we feel that week.
To what extent might that defense, your defense, have been gassed, if that's the right word, you know, late in the third quarter, early in the fourth quarter when Washington had the 60-plus yard drive and the 90-yard drive?
Yeah, there might have been a little bit of that, but I go back to, you know, when they gave up that touchdown, it was you know, I put that on the offense there just because we were in a position, we had good field position, we were in the red zone, we were in a good spot, and you know, and then we ended up missing that field goal, came back the next possession, and so they were out there quite a bit. I felt like more, you know, and they're playing catch up, so there's they're dinking the ball left and right, and you're out there, they're getting first downs, so there might have been a little bit of it, but that's the one part of the game in that. What was it? Really, it was actually early on in the third quarter where I felt like we had a chance to really put them away, and we let them kind of get back into it.
Matt, do you have an update on Gabriel at all?
No, it's the same. He's still in the protocol, so again, hopefully later on today, maybe tomorrow, have a little bit more. But you know, we just got to see how he is.
What play how did he get it?
I don't know the exact play because I haven't talked, but I think it was probably either catching the ball over the middle on a naked or else on the reverse, the around that he had.
You mentioned the middle of the field with Mitch kind of opening up at some times. It seemed like he and Allen, he was able to find him a few key third downs. What did you like about how that kind of formed for Mitch and how he was able to kind of take advantage of that area of the field?
Sure. Well, that's a trust thing, and I think it's building more and more. And so. You know, that's those guys, just the one in particular you're probably thinking of when he caught the ball from left to right on the left side. You know, they're connecting and they're building that trust, and there's things that I might call play, and then within the play, based off of a look we get, that they get to something different.
You like the question JD asked last week about, with as good a defense as you have, do you open it up or be a little more conservative? Where do you feel like you fell in that range?
Yesterday? Yeah. Probably in the middle. You know, you get into that mode where at one point it was 28-3, right? And you're staying aggressive, and that's kind of where I'm getting to is, you know, we were right there to be able to really put that thing away, and I felt like that's where we can take that next step is right there, is so that there is no 4th and 1, you got to fumble the ball to get the ball and go 4-minute. Like that, we feel like that's where we can take that next step.
So what'd you see in the interception there that
Uh,
you want Mitch to see?
Yeah, I mean, that's you know, it's hard because you got a guy who we feel is one of the best receivers in the game, and who's really good at those type of throws, and they were just off on that, and it's unfortunate, but hey, you live and you learn from it. For us, we all just got to understand on offense that when you're in the red zone like that, you're down there, you cannot turn the ball over. You gotta come away with points. So, you know, you wish you could have those back for certain reasons, but we'll grow from it.
On that play, the decision itself and the throw, can you just walk through sort of your diagnosis of it? Because Mitch said he predetermined that he was going to go there, and then, so that decision and then the actual throw he has to make sure that thing doesn't.
Sure. So yeah, it's a you know, it's a specific play built for a coverage. I'm being general here. Built for a coverage, and if you get that coverage, then you know, you have an ability to read it out and see what happens. And you know, he decided to throw the ball to 12, and that was that. You know, he said it. I mean, it's you learn. These are to me, again, you come away with a win. These situations, these plays are ones where you learn. We learn as coaches too. You know, we learn as coaches on how we teach these plays, on how we go about it.
Eddie Pinheiro, what was that process like with you from Friday until last night? Just the trust with him and knowing what he can kick through and having to go through that.
So for me, it was, first of all, I never, just like I told you guys when all this went down, I'm not, I don't let, if he can't go or he can't kick, then we'll come up with a solution for it, you know, whether that's going for 2 or it does make it a little bit more challenging if you're in that 4th and medium range and you don't know whether or not to kick a 35-yard field goal, you know, based off it. But he came out and felt pretty good. Once I heard that, then I knew, okay, let's test it out and let's see. And so, you know, things come up throughout the week, and you just gotta, like something like that or injuries, and we're in that phase right now where guys are getting banged up, and so you get Bobby Massey, you know, an hour before the game, half hour before the game, and so this stuff starts popping up. Do you turn it into a crisis, or do you try to fix it? And again, I'll go back to Lucas yesterday, finding that out to start the game and go in there, and he played pretty darn well.
You want your kicker to be healthy, but would part of you have embraced the
Yes,
idea of
yes.
going for 2?
Going for 2? Yeah. But he was feeling good.
How much will Eddie's injury prevent him from kicking in practice, and how do you walk that fine line, getting him enough to keep him sharp in practice, but not getting him more hurt?
Yeah, I leave that on those specialists. They can figure that one out. I give Taves and Jamie Cole credit. You know, just telling them, you know, hey, if there's some pain there, and once you know if it's, you know, like structural or any of that stuff, and once you get a clear mind on that, and it becomes a pain thing, then it's just a matter of, you know, kicking with some pain, and that's where I think, you know, he did that, and he showed that. And so now going into this week, how do you get that thing better so the pain doesn't just keep nagging all year long? And that's not my job. I'll whatever they decide to do, they do with him. Just if he's good to go on whenever we play, then let's tell him it's at the running back position or the wide receiver position. So, you know, he's a playmaker. And you want to try to get guys the ball as much as you can, and we have a lot of different guys. So, you know, he could come out one game and have 8 catches for 100 yards, and, you know, another game, you know, not. So that's the balance.
David locking down that spot really in the backfield now and really having like a full role there.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make you inclined to put Tariq at receiver a little bit more just to get the best guys out there?
I don't think so. You know, Tariq's he's a running back, and that's how we look at him. And so, but now we can use him to our advantage by doing some different things with him as a running back. When you have a guy that can run between the tackles, but yet can, you know, take advantage of mismatches in the pass game, that's a benefit. And for us, we feel like with all 3 backs we have that, and now it's just a matter of kind of personnel and trying to figure out, okay, where do we want to go with them?
What'd you think?
Well, you know, again, you guys